We'll get started. First of all, good morning. My name is Chester Manuel. I work here at I work at Porter, but I'm part of the IT help desk. I've met some new faces, so I'm glad to meet you. And Harry is here also. He's going to do the second half of the presentation. So we have a lot to cover today. How many of you have used Outlook 2010 already? For more than 6 months?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 3 months? Okay, so but we have some new ones. How many of you have just recently used it? Okay, great. We had an original Tech Talk Part 1 last year, but it's not a prerequisite for you to take that. We're gonna go over a lot of topics today, so we want to hold the Q&A until later. If you do have a question, just write it down, and we'll make sure to answer your questions at the end. So we're going to go real fast, and we do have some activities that you can follow along. We want to have you learn a couple things, take back with you. So moving along, we'll go on. Oops. All right, so the agenda for today is we're going to go over the basic setup of Outlook, how to set up Outlook so that you can work the way you want to work in a faster way. By default, the Outlook just comes in standard, and we'll show you some new things in there so it can be more efficient for you. Also, we're going to be talking about inbox management, how to use your inbox to process your emails faster, and how to search emails better and in a faster way. We'll also talk about tasks in Outlook and resource management, such as meeting rooms and how to manage that, and recurring meetings and all that. And we'll also talk about the Outlook web app, which is a new web-based Outlook client, and it's really full-featured than the previous Outlook 2007. All right, now when you first open Outlook 2010, this is how it comes out. If you right after an install. So since this is a Windows product, Windows named some things like window panes. So these are called panes. So the first one here on the left is a navigation pane. This is where you would go to, go to your different folders and then look for your emails, and go to your inbox or delete items and send items. The top here is a ribbon. This is where you do most of your actions that you want to do with an email or a task or a calendar. This is the reading pane right here, where it shows you your email that you've selected. The to-do bar is this yellow here, and it has the things that you are going to do that you set for yourself for today. There's a monthly calendar here. Some of your meetings for today, and a list of tasks. This is new. This area here is a people pane. This just shows you who's included in the email. All right, and then we'll switch over to Outlook, and I'll show you how to set it up in a better way rather than default. So when we look here, this is how it looks, exactly what we showed. One quick way to see more of your folders is just to drag this box down like that, and now I'm able to see like 10 more folders. So that's like a real easy shortcut to do. Another thing is, if you have two two monitors, and when we use Outlook, we're always switching from our mail into our calendar, right? Mail and calendar. So when we're looking at email, we want to check our calendar. We're always switching. So that takes time. It all adds up during the day. One thing that you could do is, you have two monitors. We just right-click on the calendar icon and click Open in New Window. And we'll just drag the calendar over to the second monitor. Now we have a view of our email and our calendar all at the same time, when we have two monitors. So that's a quick tip right there to help save time. Okay, and this reading pane right here, sometimes it's hard, you know, if you want to read more of your email, you'd have to scroll this up, right? And then you get less view of, you have a smaller view of your emails that you have in your inbox. What we can do here is we just change the view of the reading pane, and we make it to the right. And this is all your preference, right? But to me, like, I prefer to read my emails. It's easier for me to read emails if they're taller than if they're wider for me, and I get a better view of how many emails I have to work to process, okay? And that's available in the view and the reading pane. Now, right here in the to-do bar, some people don't like this. You can just minimize it by clicking on this arrow, and it just minimizes it like that. If you want to get rid of it completely, you just select the to-do bar, and they're all under the view tab, and you just, you know, turn them off like that, like that. But I like to see a calendar, and I like to see what my appointments are for today. The tasks here show up, and they're all in red. You know, for me, I don't like seeing red. It just stresses me out. So I want to get rid of that, because I'll still be able to view my tasks. I have a reminder, and I'll show you where that is in the later slides. So I'd like to just do that and get rid of it, and then I see more of what I have to do for today. So now, you know, just by doing those two things, I'm able to work a little bit more faster. Okay. Great, and then we'll go to our next slide. Oops. All right, we're going to talk about inbox management and how to do it faster. All right, so out the box, you know, the inbox is just there. You process your emails. We'll show you some techniques where, you know, just like this race car, like compared to a regular car, you know, there's some things you don't need. You strip out the seats, right, to make it lighter and all that stuff. Then you can work much faster. What we want to do for our inbox is we don't want to use our inbox for storing all our emails. We want to just use the inbox to like process emails, right? And then we're going to move emails to different categories and folders and things like that. Having a system will make it faster for you, like when you need to search for emails. Instead of searching the whole inbox for all these emails, you know, you might have search results that come up. Let's say you're searching for a word like a project you're working on, but then someone else emailed about that project, and it's not really related to what you're looking for. You know, it gets rid of the noise by organizing. So we'll show you some different ways to organize. A new feature within Outlook is Conversation View. How many of you use that right now or know what it's about? No? Conversation View, basically, if you have a lot of back and forth email, it'll group those emails together. That way you don't have to search your inbox by sorting by date or by who and trying to figure out who said what. You know, it helps you put everything in one, and I'll show you how that's done. And another way to manage your inbox faster is automatic conditional rules. Now, most of us drive, right? Drive a car, and we know isn't it easier if we see a color, we know like what, if we see red, we know it's stop, right? It's faster than if we read stop or go, whatever, like seeing colors is, we know what they mean, right? It helps us go faster. I'll show you how to do that. So Conversation View is also in the View tab, and you can show as conversations by clicking on this checkbox here. And then I'll select this folder. And what it does is it groups all the emails together, right? So here, an example is when I have this email, you'll see like there's like a stack of emails together, this icon, and also a triangle pointing to the right. Well, if you click on this triangle, it'll show you the emails that are related to that subject. You know, so it means like this is the first email I got, and then this is a reply to that email. So it just helps me to keep track of the conversation. right? And if I have like a long list, let's see, what's a long list? Like here, you know, look how many emails this is. This is going back until the 18th. So, like, if I turn it off, it just, you know, I have to like search by date or search by subject and try to keep track of the emails, right? I always have to click, and all that. So I like the conversation view. So that's a feature that we could use. Well, we talked about automatic conditional rules. You see here I have some emails that are blue, some emails that are green, some are black. I set these automatic conditional rules for myself, which basically, if I get an email that's sent only to me, that has my name on the to line, it's blue, right? So that means it's like, those are like more important emails than if I'm just CC'd on an email, right? Usually if you're CC'd on an email, it's just a FYI email, or just, you know, something that you don't really have to do something about it. So I set those for myself, so now I know like, oh, these are blue, this is something I should have a higher priority than if it was just a black one, you know, for me. And the green ones is if I'm CC'd on, so, you know, like for me, if I look at this, I know that I'd be trying to process the blue emails first. So this is all available by going to the view also, and then under view settings and conditional formatting here. And I just have here, it says any email sent to me only, I want it to be blue. And if I'm CC'd on it, I want it to be green. So that's just another way to help you process emails faster. All right, well, let's move on. Now, in the real world, when we get like regular emails, right, or we put them away, we organize in folders, right? Paper, we put them in folders that way. We color code them and things like that. That's the way we organize, and that's how we should organize also in Outlook, is we have folders available. And Microsoft suggests having 3 folders that you create for yourself. You know, if you have all your emails in your inbox, you know, starting with like 3 folders won't be too hard of a change. So, but basically, what making these 3 folders, you name one of them 1-reference, and basically putting the number in front of the folder name, it just makes it sort on a higher on the top. Instead of alphabetical, you know, it might end up at the bottom. Like a R will be at the bottom, right? So I'll put a number on top. So basically, like a folder that you name reference, you put your emails that you are going to, you know that you're going to refer to them later on. You just dump them from your inbox into the reference folder, right? And then a personal folder is like, you might use your Stanford email as your personal email also. What you want to do is you want to separate your business emails from your personal. So take all your personal emails from the inbox and put them in personal. All right, and then contact groups is just another a new name for a distribution list. How many of you belong to mailing lists that you've signed up for? Parking, transportation mailing lists, or things like that. Okay. Now those type of emails, they're sent out to like a whole bunch of people, right? They're just like FYI emails. It's not really something very important that you need to do like today, right? Unless they have a contest giving away a free iPad, then you want to make sure you get that email. Well, those type of emails, you can put those in contact groups, right? And then now, you know, once we put those things in there, we have less emails in our inbox that we have to really go over, because we know where they're stored at. So now we're a little bit more organized, right? And I'll show you how this all works when we go to the Outlook, the demo part. Another feature for to help you manage your inbox faster is Quick Steps. So what Quick Steps does is it's available on the ribbon. I showed you on the beginning, the first slide. And basically, it's something that anything that you do all the time, but multiple steps, you can make that a quick step. Let's say let's say you have emails from a project and you have a project folder and you put them in that folder and you want to mark it unread. That way, when you put them in there, you're not gonna forget to check that folder again because you have unread email in there, right? You always check your unread email. So that takes like 3 steps to do, you know, mouse clicks and things like that. But with a quick step, you can press one button and it all just goes in there. And if you do that multiple times a day, it's going to save you a lot of time, right? Okay, we'll go here. Now, we talk about folders. So for myself, I created, you know, something for me, what helps me better. Instead of like a reference folder, I created an information folder, right? And this is just emails. This is just folders that I put emails that I like just need to read on later. It's not really something I need to do right away. So this is like, you know, books and things like that I need to read, or articles. I'll put them in my information folder. Tasks, I created one called tasks. So basically these are emails that I need to do something on. They're project related, important items that, you know I'm going to refer to later and I need to work on it. And then I have here like project related files that I can refer to. So that's the way I organize my emails, right? So if I go here in my inbox, this is just information, you know, I don't need that. I don't really need to work on that. So I have a quick step that I made. So basically with a quick step, it's available in the home. They're right here, called quick steps. Basically what I usually do with these informational emails, I put them in my information folder, right? This one. But for me to do that manually, I'd have to like click on it and drag it here, right? But with a quick step, I could just right click on it and do quick step and then do that, you know, it's not much. And I also have a shortcut for it, which I set as Control-Shift-2. So let's say I'm looking at here, I just hit Control-Shift-2, it's there, Control-Shift-2, it's there, you know. I've moved all those emails into that folder and it's like way faster. If you do that all the time, you know, you can save a lot of time. All right. Okay, we'll move on. Faster search. So Outlook 2010 has the search feature really integrated with itself. So when you put your items in those separate folders, it's faster if you just search those folders than if you search your whole inbox if you have all your email. So if you know you're searching for a project-related email, you know for yourself you're going to check your project folder that you created for yourself, right? Instead of searching your inbox where you're searching all these other emails, all right? So that's one reason why we want to organize. We can search faster that way. Also, there's categories, and what categories does is it puts your emails in more than one category. When we put our email in a folder, we can only put it in one folder, right? You can't. Let's say you have a project folder, but that email is also related to a customer that you have that you need to call, and it's also something that your manager that you need to talk to your manager about. Let's say you have a folder called project and then manager and customers. You can only put that email in one of those, right? But they're all related. So categories helps you put it in more than one category. And I'll show you how that helps with the search. So basically you have categories there, you create your categories, and then you can sort those emails by whatever categories you mark it as, and then when you do a search, it'll come up. Another way for faster searches is favorites. I'll show you how that is. And basically, if you have a folder that's say way on the bottom, and you're working in your inbox, and you have to put your one email into that folder that's way at the bottom, that takes time, right? But if we have them in favorites, they'll be at the top all the time. So if there's a folder that you refer to all the time, it's going to be available right at the top. And that's just another way to make it much faster for you. And then for search, we'll cover the basic ways to search. I'll show you in that demo. Some presets that's available, like say your inbox is getting full, you get an email saying, hey, your inbox is getting full, you need to, you know, you need to delete some emails. Presets can help you like find the emails that have attachments, and then some other things like that. And then we'll cover advanced search. So we'll go here. All right. So categories are available here in the Home tab under Categories. These are my categories that I create for myself, like meeting, online, phone, read. So if you go here, basically I tag this email as something that I need to do on the web, and I'm waiting for someone to get back to me too, right? And if I want to search for, let's say I'm searching for emails that I need to meet with people, I'll just hit meeting. I hit the category meeting, and these are the presets right here. So then now I have comes up with emails that are project related, also but I need to meet with, right? So those are samples. So the way to do that is we talked about search. You just click here, and these are the preset searches that you can do, right? And so when you do a search, it just searches a current folder, and then if you can't find it, you want to do like all subfolders. Let's say I'm searching for an email here. You know, I'd click the search bar right here, and then hit all subfolders, and it's going to search the project folder and everything under here, right? And then if I still can't find it, I can click on all email items, and it's going to search all of that right there. Okay, and for advanced search, this one is really useful, but you really have to know a lot about the email that you're trying to search, right? Because it goes down into a lot of detail. You can search for certain keywords in the subject line, right, or something within the body, or you can search it from, you know, a person that sent it to you. And there's a lot more choices. You can get really intricate with it, but you really have to know a lot about that. But it's available here in the advanced find. I talk about favorites. So I access these folders a lot, the tasks, information, projects, some default favorites that you want, and favorites are available here, right at the top, right, where it's really accessible for you. You should have like your inbox in there, your sent items and delete items, because these are probably 3 important folders that you access all the time. And I access tasks all the time, so if you do have a folder, you just right click on it and just say show in favorites, and then it'll show up right there. And I'll do the same for my information and my project folder. So then now I have access to these right away. You know, if it was something like way down here, right, it takes time for me to search for that. I just, let's say, like this one, like way down here, right? If I have to search that folder, I'd have to like search and then really figure out where it is. You know, there's a lot of time wasted for me, but if I just have it in my favorites, if I'm accessing all the time, I don't have to go down here and drill down, right? It's right here. It's easy for me. All right. Okay, and we'll go back to the slide. Okay, next one is rules. Okay, if we look at this picture, this guy and gal right here, you know, they're making a car, but just like us when we're working our inbox, right, we're by ourselves doing it manually. You know, but I'd rather be like this guy. You know, he has robots working for him, right? I could do more stuff. I don't have to do stuff manually. So what rules does is, you know, it does a lot of the processing for you. And what they can do is they can move mail for you in different folders, or delete email for you without you even having to touch it. So that saves a lot of time. And we did have an activity, but I don't think anyone have laptops, but we'll show you how to create a rule to move emails to a folder. How many of you use rules right now? Okay, only a few. Okay, but so rules are easy to make. There's a lot of rules you can make. Basically, let's say I have here these emails called, I have alert emails, right? And let's say these I want to move in a folder. So you basically just right-click on it and click on rules here. And you say manage rules and alerts, or create a rule. Create a rule, and then you could basically say, you know, anytime I get an email with this subject, I want to move it to a folder, right? And then you just select the folder and it'll be there. So, you know, I have all these emails, I have rules set already. So if I had my rules, you know, I have 45 emails in here, right? But my rules are already like set. So if I run the rules, right, you know, I've cut that down to half. Now I have like 26 I process, because all the rest I've already had rules created for, you know. So just by creating rules, it can help you manage your inbox faster. You could put rules. One good rule is, you know, mailing list rules. Any rules you get, any email you get from a mailing list, move it to like your mailing list folder, right? It cuts out a lot of noise where you have to process, right? All right, now I'm done with my part. So hopefully we'll cover. If you have questions, we'll cover it at the end, and I'm gonna let Harry do the next part.
Okay, just moving right along. I only have 4 topics to cover. First one is auto archiving, why you should have it configured, how to configure it, and where to find your archive. Calendars, create and end a recurring meeting. Managing tasks, we're going to create a task from an email, create a calendar item from a task, and then set reminders for a task. And the last topic will be the Outlook web application, and we're going to look at the folders, calendars, resources, and set up automatic replies. So how many of you are familiar with the auto archive? Okay, not many of you. So what I'm going to do is just go over some of the settings and the location of the archive. We'll talk about that. And why you should have auto archive is basically just for that. You want to archive the emails that you want to refer to later. By not having it, your inbox is going to fill up kind of quickly, and you're going to get prompted that you need to clear up some space because your mailbox is almost full. You're only allotted, I believe it's 2 gigs, a gig to 2 gigs, and a lot of the emails that we do receive, you know, daily is going to make that happen a lot quicker. So by having this set, you won't have to worry about it because it's going to do it according to the settings that we have configured for your auto archive. All right, so you can see in this picture here, everything's done manually. I look at it, I see a lot of work. And if you want to access an archive, it may be, somebody may have it at that time. Auto archiving is going to be in one location. You can access it at any time. So by default, 14 days and the 16 months appear when you turn on the auto archive. These are ideal settings because it runs more frequently and it will help the Outlook client run more efficiently. If you set it to run infrequent, you're going to have larger portions of data to process, which in turn can bog down the performance of your Outlook program. While you're processing emails, this is running also in the background, but you'll notice a big difference. So these settings are optimal, which is just a baseline also for your folders and emails that you already have. So when you when you go to turn it on, the Run Archive Every button at the top is not checked. So you check to turn it on, and in 14 days. That's when it'll run. The prompt before archive runs is checked. You'll get a pop-up notification letting you know that the archive wants to run, and you'll need to interact with it saying you want it to run or not to at this time. So during auto archive, delete expired items is checked. We want to uncheck that because we don't want to delete any of our emails. The next item, archive or delete old items, should be checked because delete expired items is not checked. It's only going to archive your older items. And show archive folder in the folder list. So in your main mailbox view, in the navigation pane where your folder lists are, in the example here, this archive is on the root of D, and it's named archive. So that folder is going to be listed there. You click on that, and you'll be able to view all the old items stored there. And default folder settings for archiving, it's set to clean out older items in 6 months. And your IT representative will set the location for you, and ideally, we choose D. The permanently delete old items is not marked because of the delete expired items is not checked. And so once your settings are set, you can click on this button that says apply these settings for all folders now, and it will start instantaneously. Or you can just click OK and wait for 14 days to occur, and then you'll be prompted that the auto archive wants to run. The paragraph here that says, to specify different archive settings for any folder, right-click on the folder and choose Properties. Then go to the Archive tab. This leads me into the last topic for auto archive, which is auto archive frequently used folders. You can have folders that are auto archive, or individual folders that have their own auto archive settings. So Chester was talking about rules earlier, having your rules sent to a specific folder. Say like for Stanford Report, that email is going to be sent to a folder called Stanford Report. And because these emails come daily, that folder is going to fill up quite quickly. You can set individual settings for that folder. And I'll go ahead and demo that real quick. If you don't mind, Chester, use your email real quick. So you right-click on the folder, select Properties. And the properties for that folder appears. Click on the Auto Archive tab. Chester has his archive setting for this folder. If it's not, of course, this top button here, Do Not Archive Items in the Folder, will be bulleted. He chose the default settings for this, which is to every 14 days, 6 months it's going to occur. But say you want this to run more frequent, you would choose this button here that says Archive this folder using these settings. And you can change the settings to whatever you like by clicking on this drop down here. You can choose months, weeks, or days for your archive. And he has his location set that he wants his archive to go to. Recommendation that I'll go ahead and give would be to move it to the default archive folder. That way, you already have an existing archive, it'll just be added to that, as opposed to moving it to a different location, and now you're going to have another archive to manage. Just a preference. So once your settings are set, you click Apply and then OK. Next, we'll talk about calendars. How many of you are here create meetings, recurring meetings a lot? Okay, cool. So we'll just touch on this real quick. Creating a recurring meeting, it's important to specify an end date to ensure that the calendar will sync properly. There's been an instance where we received a call from a user, and they made us aware that their calendar wasn't syncing properly. So after troubleshooting the issue, we found out that there wasn't an end date specified there. So this is just one of the things that could go wrong by not specifying an end date when you are creating a recurring meeting. And end a recurring meeting, it's fairly simple. Just set an earlier end date. If you have, for example, if you have a recurring meeting that's going to be stretched out or last for maybe 6 months, and maybe 3 months into it, you find out you may not need the extra 3 months, you would just go into that recurrence and set an earlier end date, and you're all done. So let's create a recurring meeting. You want to go into your calendar section here. And on the ribbon, under Home tab, click on New Meeting. Another recommendation I'd like to give would be to enter all your attendees that you're going to invite to the meeting through the global address book. That way there will be no mistyping of an email address, and your attendees will get your invitation once you send it. Okay, as the first attendee, I'm going to click the Required button. And then once you have all your attendees set, you want to choose your resource. Just choose the Bonair. And we'll click the Resource button. Once you invited everybody and got your resource, you click OK. Now on the ribbon, you want to click on the Recurrence button. Set your start and end times. Say this will be a weekly meeting. It happens on Thursday, every Thursday. Starting today. Click OK, and then we'll send the invitation. Okay. Now let's find that calendar item. There it is. So we found out that this meeting is going to end earlier. So go back to your calendar item, click on it, and you can click on the Recurrence button, and we'll change the end date to the 4th, and we'll send our changes again. It's in the update. Okay. And that's pretty much it. You can also, if you need to cancel the series, you can cancel it for that meeting as well.
I've had a problem when I create a recurring meeting and I put it in the conference room and it's not available some of those days. It'll bounce it back at me, but it looks like it's reusing the whole thing, but all it's doing is not adding a conference room to the days that were double booked. Does that make sense? So then I have to figure out which ones they are and go in and find another room. So is there a better way to do that?
Okay. Can we address that after?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So the next topic we're going to talk about will be managing tasks. So here I'm going to try to mark an email as a task. In Calendar View, we're going to drag that task onto a calendar, and then I'll show you how to set reminders for the task. Chester had showed you earlier, what you can do on an email is just right-click on the flag, and then you would select when you want this task to be done. These are your default choices and colors for these flags, or colored flags for your tasks. One thing I found I thought was very interesting on this item here that's highlighted, this week and next week. By default, if you choose these items, Microsoft or their Outlook program is going to choose a Friday of that week, of this week, as a default day to start that task. And if you were to choose next week, next Friday, is the one by choice. So you would have to be careful in choosing these. So we'll mark this one for today. Okay. So here is the task that I just created. And what I'm going to do is just drag it into the calendar. Make it a calendar item. If you stretch it out by clicking on the item, moving your cursor over these white boxes here, This will allow you to, if you have an hour maybe to work on this task. By stretching it there, just as a reminder to let you know how much time you have to work on this task, you can do that. And to set a reminder on that task, you can right-click on this flag here, go to Add Reminder, and these are default labels that you can label your task. You want to choose a start date and a due date, and then make sure the reminder box is checked. You choose the day that you want to be reminded on and the time, and you just click OK, and you'll get your reminder. A little pop-up message in your inbox letting you know that this task is due. Okay. Also, I had a activity, which is to create a calendar item from a task, but I'll just go over that real quick just for giggles. So again, well, we already have our task, actually. So you just basically drag it from your task item or list here and drag it into your calendar. Okay, last topic is the Outlook web application, formerly known as OML. How many of you are using this, the web version of Outlook today? At home? Okay, 2, 3. That's cool. Yeah, I like the new features that they've added. It's a big difference from the older version that they have. This is the address. If you're here or at home or wherever you're at with your mobile devices, this is the email address to access your email account. And so I will demonstrate the main view of the inbox, the folders that appear. And there is one limitation. Your archives aren't made available for you in the web version of this. We'll look at the calendars, your resources, and then the automatic replies. Okay, so this site has been visited before, so I don't have to type out the whole string. And here you put in your Senate ID credentials. It is but it works. I've met the criteria. Okay, so by default, I believe this is the view that you get, which one of the recommendations from Chester earlier today. You have your reading pane on the right here. Emails are listed right here, and here's your folder list. To view your folders, you just click on the triangle right to the left of that folder. See more of your folders. And this line right here with the 5 dots, if you click on that, that gives you a little bit more viewing area of your folders. So I want to view the calendar next. See on the left navigation pane over here, I have all my resources, and my shared calendars also show here. Another limitation is that you can't view your tasks in the bottom here like you could on the client version. So you actually would have to navigate to your tasks to view them. Okay. On the upper right corner here of this view, underneath my name, there's an options button. You click on that. This is where you would set your automatic replies. So if you're going to be busy for a few hours and you want to notify your colleagues, you can set that little message in this area down here. Or if you're going to be on vacation, it'd be nice to set up a reply to let your colleagues know that you're unavailable or out of town during this period. So I don't have it set. So you click on the Send Automatic Replies radio button here, and then Send Replies only during this time period. And in this area here, you will set your start date and time, and end date and time. And this sentence right here says, send a reply once to each sender inside my organization with the following message. In this area here, you would type your message. Gone. is what they'll see when they send you an email. If you're done here, you can just click on Save, and your auto replies are set. If you have people you contact or work with outside of Stanford, there's a section down here. You can send people reply messages outside of my organization. Just click on here. And if they're in your contact list, you can click the top one, or you just want to send to all external users as well. You click on the bottom button, and in here, you would type a message for them to see as well, and then click Save. And that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our presentation today. Hope you found these tips, tricks, and best practices helpful and be able to apply them in your daily tasks here. So at this point, that is the end of our presentation. So we'll start our Q&A. Catherine, you had a lot of stuff talking about. I forgot pretty much what you had said.
Recurring meetings.
Recurring meeting, yes.
Rooms not available for each of the, say, 10 meetings that I'm setting up. How can I easily find which ones don't have a meeting attached to them, or don't have a room attached to them, and attach a room?
The best way is that you have to search your calendars for those future dates, because if you have set a recurring meeting and one of those dates is already booked,
so I have to open up all 10 meetings to figure out which.
The best way is just you have to like either break it up or pop up your meetings.
So there's no easy way.
No.
There's no easy way, but those are, that's the cause of it, is like either it's already been booked already. Yeah.
Thanks for coming. You can contact us anytime if you got any other questions.
So,
No problem.
we have yoga in this class next, in this room, so
Okay.
if you just want to shove the things to the
This way?
walls rather than closing up the walls and setting up the table, it'll be fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you guys also have any more, if you want to go more in depth into it, we can do one-on-ones with you.
Yes, one-on-one you can do it also.
I know we covered a
That's
lot.
what we have, because sometimes you need something very specific,
Yeah.
catered to our.
And the organization of the folders and all that,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen overnight.
Exactly, yeah.
It's going to take time.
Especially when you have in your archive for many years,